national or natural disaster. Today, the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga asked the government to declare the floods a national or natural disaster. What are the reasons behind the Prime Minister directing the government to do so? And why is it that he directed the government to stop the destruction of the Mukuru and Njenga slums? This is Machuka Nyarieko TV talk show, whereby we analyze politics, economic, social ways of our people in Kenya and in the international arena. Before we look at that topic, I do request new viewers or guests to just press on the subscriber button so that whenever we produce another video, YouTube will automatically notify you. Why is it necessary for Kenya today to declare these floods a natural disaster or a national disaster? When do we say that something is a natural disaster? Of course, when it causes human suffering, which has already been caused, people who are being evacuated from various places are suffering, they are spending sleepless nights, they are being tortured. Those whose relatives, friends, and family members have been carried away are suffering. So that is one qualification that may make it be declared a national disaster. Second, when there is destruction of property, houses have been carried, animals have been carried away, and even crops have been carried away by the strong waters. Bridges have been carried away. The other day we were talking of Garissa, Nairobi. When there is some few rains, it becomes so difficult to move from one estate to another. So that one also qualifies it to be named a national disaster. If you go to Githurai 45, for example, when it has rained, there's a place they call Sokoramawe. There are buildings opposite, whereby there is much rain. I mean, once there is much rain, the shops are flooded with water, which is so dangerous to our economy. And that there is loss of life. More than 200 people have been swept away since the rains began. And through those three observations, there is no doubt that these floods or these rains shall be declared a national disaster. In addition to that, when there is strong winds can make something to be declared a national disaster, like the ones we expect at the coasts at Mukuru. So they can also make it to be declared a national disaster. A national disaster are those man-made or natural happenings that make it very difficult for the government to mobilize resources. And the main reason Raila wants it to be declared a national disaster is that once it has been declared a national disaster, the national government owns or opens a fund whereby they mobilize resources towards helping the people who are suffering. The importance of such a fund is that anybody, private sector, public sector, will give its contribution because it has been declared a national disaster. Even donors will chip in because this has been declared a national disaster. Why is Raila worried that people of Mukuru and Njenga are being moved from their houses to nowhere? It doesn't mean that Raila wants the people to die in the houses. No, it's because he's wondering. That's now also another man-made. It is also a man-made disaster. You are moving the people from their houses to nowhere. Moving them is good, but destroying the houses is inhuman. It brings about human suffering, more especially when the economic life is so hard. What the government should have done is to look for alternative place whereby these people will stay temporarily. Of course, we know they have the housing projects, even the houses are not ready. So where are they moving to? Some of them, if you saw the clips, they just came back to their houses and found that everything in it has been crushed. Therefore, there are two ways in which these calamities can appear. One can be natural. It can be earthquakes, floods, tsunamis, and another one man-made, just in the same manner that the government is doing. By destroying the houses at such a time when there rains, is doing the same thing that the Jubilee government did during the center of Corona. What is the way forward? If I was to advise the government, I will, one, ask them to declare this a national disaster so that resources can be mobilized. You will hear that once it is declared a national disaster, you will hear Safaricom has given several millions, Kenya Power, various ministries, and this work will be more easier. It will now become more easier to move the people of Mukuru from their slums than just asking the treasury to avail resources which maybe are not there for the disaster management. That comes to an end of this short presentation. If you have not subscribed, just press the subscribe button so that we continue enjoying these great ideas. Thank you.